You think I'll let you zone?
The only reason I'm doing this comic is because of the Pools of Blood crossover with Miles Morales' Spider-Man, but can Wade and Ellie find a way to earn money without getting the hit out on Brooklyn Spider-Man? Let's see how they handle the problem in this issue, which is issue 11. Wade is on hard times as he was just killed by Death Grip, but he was brought back by his daughter with no money and no weapon to kill the guy who killed him, which is what they really need right now. Taskmaster got them a gig that will pay, but he may not like what he has to do. Wade wanted to take Ellie on an easier contract, but she will have to learn sooner or later about a merc's life is filled with stuff one wouldn't want to do. Ellie finds out the job is to kill Spider-Man and interrupts the shot. Wade tells the kid they need to do this or they won't get paid, but Ellie says this feels wrong. Wade doesn't want to mess this up as a dad, so he decides to can the mission and tell Ellie if she doesn't want to do this, then they can find something else to do. Until Agent Gao shows up and tells Deadpool to not waste her time yet again. She shows up with her two underlings Midas and Output. Deadpool says she may have caught them at their financial lowest, but they will bounce back. Output is mad that Gao has them running lookout for Deadpool instead of killing Spider-Man themselves. But Midas wants nothing to do with this because if you kill a Cape, there will be no place for you to hide. Gao tells Deadpool she didn't think he was afraid to kill and waste her time like last time, but Deadpool needs the money so they will finish the job. Gao tells Deadpool if he can finish this job, then she will introduce him to her benefactor who has all kinds of weapons of war. Deadpool will if Elliot gives the green light, and she finally agrees to it. Deadpool hits Spider-Man in the shoulder as he falls to the ground. Deadpool and Elliot leave the roof for the alley, but not before Deadpool asks Output if he wants to join them on the grapple gun. Wade and Ellie find out that this isn't Spider-Man. But who is it? Did Valentine give them a special bullet? Ellie's trying to patch up Shift while Wade is going to tell Gao that the target got away, but they nicked him in the shoulder though. Gao wants Deadpool to chase after him, but he hangs up on her. Deadpool comes up with a plan to take Shift somewhere private so they can kill him and tell Gao that they killed Spider-Man. But Ellie doesn't want to do that, as they have to do something else, which is a light double crossing, which now they have Shift pretend to be Spider-Man, give him to Gao, then Ellie teleports him to Deadpool, and they get away scot-free with the money. That was going to work until Spider-Man shows up and cracks a pair into a wall, with Ellie saying that they can't heal as fast as they used to, so they're gonna have to be careful in this fight. Deadpool tries to get the webbing off his katanas, but chips him instead, with Spidey saying he has vibranium coated webbing. Ellie tried to talk Spider-Man down, but he isn't listening and she's getting tired of being in the dirt, and decides to use teamwork to find a pattern in Spider-Man's dodges to get a good hit on him. As the comic ends, Spider-Man shows them his Venom Saber as he isn't the OG Spider-Man. Miles wants to know what the pair of Deadpools want with his brother for, as he has them at sword's length. Will they explain their change of heart, or will the fighting continue from here on out? Let's check it out. Miles wants to know what the Deadpool pair were up to with the not Spider-Man over there. While Wade geeks out over the Venom Saber, Ellie doesn't think Spider-Man wants to talk right now, and Wade rushes Spider-Man saying he doesn't want to be rude, but his form is a little sloppy. But Spidey just remembers how annoying Deadpool is. Earlier we see Miles talking to Genki and he's upset that he didn't update him about going to Wakanda to get a god to cure his vampirism, but on the flip side, Shift has been enjoying life and going to school, and in some ways he's a better Miles. Shift has been taking more lessons from Kamala but wants to talk to Miles about things, and he decides to leave. Along the way, a Nazi wants to talk and is hurt that Miles doesn't thank him for what he has done. Miles doesn't like his mind read, and didn't that vampire slaying story that they just did in Wakanda be enough for him? The Nazi loves his new champion that he has jokes. He grew tired of just watching stories unfold, so that he'd go to the new world and see them happen right in front of him. But his champion has other things to do right now, so they can talk later, and Shift calls him. Shift asks if they can talk face to face, as it's still hard for him to talk, let alone on the phone and do it at the same time, as he likes doing what Miles does but doesn't feel like him, if that makes any sense. Miles says it's okay, just ping him when he gets to the meetup spot. All the while Deadpool is lining up a shot, even though he doesn't really know how the scope works. Miles hears Shift get shot through the arm, back to the present, and Miles has had enough of them and throws Wade into Ellie with the web throw from Marvel vs. Capcom. Miles is relying on the suit too much, as Ellie was able to slow down his reaction and land a kick to the face even though the suit minimized it, but it still felt like getting hit by a sledgehammer. Spider-Man saying that copying Taskmaster's moves is good, but not good enough, as he Venom strikes her into Wade, and the pair try to regroup. Wade tries his sword one more time only for the suit to break the blade. Ellie and Miles clash, but his electricity starts overloading her phone. She tries to stop the fight, saying her phone is going to blow, and Spidey tries to get rid of it, only for Ellie to fight him for it, and the cell phone shoots them back to their hideout. Nazi comes out to say that there are no wrong roads to a story, but Miles says shouldn't he be helping him instead of just watching, but Nazi is, and Ellie interrupts saying does he always talk to himself? They start to fight again with Miles not listening and Ellie not giving context to what she's saying, and after yelling at Ellie that this mask and that phone were the only things her father gave to her, and she cherishes them. She knows he isn't perfect, but he is trying to be better. It's why he decided to help Shift after realizing it was wrong to hurt him. Miles calms down and realizes that he isn't the only one with problems, as he can understand to a degree. Spider-Man says that they need to figure out where they are, but Ellie knows that they're back home in their office, and Princess appears. Back with Deadpool, he comes up with a plan. If Ellie is fine, then he will just scam Gal and her goons out of their money and weapons, then come back for Spider-Man vs. Deadpool has reached round 3, but that isn't the only thing that's happening as we catch up with Gal and her weird hatred of the teenage Spider-Man. We start with Gal taking the alleyways, making fun of the police force as the majority of them are stupid and arrogant to the true threats to the city instead of petty thieves, and runs into a weird man that she thinks is going to bring her in. Gal says that she is free and threw away her moral compass to do what is necessary. The man says that he isn't here to bring her in and that the qualities that she's talking about are that of war, and he wants that. The man tells Gal that she is strong but can't really do anything without help, and he's here with a boon to give her what she needs. Gal wants to know why he's helping her, and it's because Spider-Man is receiving help from a powerful benefactor that shouldn't be in these lands, and the reason he can't do it himself is because of previous agreements prevent him to an extent. Back at Gal's hideout, Midas and Output want to confirm the target, and Deadpool says this is Spider-Man, and Midas touches him and increases the bones in his legs density enough to break, and they find out that it isn't Spider-Man, and they get into a fight with Wade running out of weapons. At Deadpool's home, Spider-Man and Princess start fighting. Miles has had enough of the symbiote and Venom punches her. Ellie tells Princess to stop fighting as they need to get back to her dad. Ellie tells Princess that she's a bad dog because she needs her to stop fighting, and really she still hates Spider-Man as he can hear her saying that. Ellie says that thanks to his laser sword, her cell phone is done, but if he's a repairman, then they're good. But if not, then they're shit out of luck. Spider-Man says tech is more the other one's area, but maybe you can just borrow some of the nanites as a band-aid until they find Deadpool. And she takes the deal. Back with Deadpool, Midas is putting in the work as Wade can't do much until Shift steps in and punches her. Output gets mad that they are ignoring him and he shoots Shift. Shift and Deadpool are overwhelmed, but Ellie and Spider-Man arrive to save the day. Nazi says he can't help as much as there are powerful magics putting up a barrier in the area and he can't do anything. And they start fighting the pair. Output can absorb Spider-Man's venom and shoot it right back at him. Deadpool is still fighting Midas but not getting anywhere as Shift helps him out with another punch. Ellie knocks Midas away while Deadpool cuts one of Output's hands off, and he freaks out after they knock them down and out. Everyone does a check, and besides some injuries, everyone is fine, but since they have no money, Wade decides to take Gal's goons' heads as they might be worth something dead, but Spider-Man says he won't let him kill them. A Nazi interrupts saying that magic from before is coming, and Miles' spider sense starts acting up. A Nazi is interested in where the story is developing, and as the comic ends, we see that Gal has become the Herald of Ares. Warcry. This is it for the Pools of Blood crossover. Can Spider-Man and the dad-daughter team of Deadpool stop the new Herald of Ares called Warcry, or will Ares still corner the area on the new world? Agent Gal wants Spider-Man's head and to get rid of this burning hatred inside of her as he has taken everything from her even though he didn't. The Cape Killers were dismantled and she wasn't left with much, but there was a benefactor who gave her power and only asked for his head in return. Deadpool sees the weapon Gal has and wants it for his death grip problem, but Ellie has to remind him of the delayed healing factor, which is going to be a major problem in that fight. A Nazi tells Spider-Man to save that fool before he gets killed, and Gal blows a hole through the building while Wade really wants that weapon now. And a Nazi tells Miles that this time he can only offer advice because of the barrier and rules he must adhere to, but Miles doesn't care and wants to do this fight his own way while fighting Warcry and her cronies. But Spider-Man asks her if she has anything else to say before he dog walks her once again. And Spider-Man gets hit by a beam but barely tanks it thanks to the vibranium suit that he has on, and so far nothing is really working against her as she snaps Wade's neck. Miles goes 100% power and gives her a venom blast to the face while Wade clotheslines her while Ellie starts stabbing the Output. Shift fights Midas, and unfortunately for her, Shift isn't normal, so her weight shifting powers don't really work on him. Shift slams her into the ground while Ellie RKO's output. Gal is on her last legs, getting mad, nothing's going right. And after being swept by Deadpool, the pair knock her out and the power of Marvel mandates can't stop them. Warcry is a sore loser, saying that this isn't over and runs away while Ellie and Shift take a photo. Shift forgives Ellie and they are friends, but Wade isn't his friend and he doesn't forgive him for now. While Wade has finally gotten his hands on a weapon that can solve his problem, Miles takes back the nanites that he let Ellie borrow as they jump through the portal. Shift still wants to talk if they can right now, and as they swing off, Anati is pleased with today's events and curious about the future, but he'll let them talk on their own for now. Shift tells Miles that he likes doing the things he does, but none of that is his. Everything he's ever had, nothing truly was ever his, even his name was given to him. Miles apologizes for making him stand in for him, and they can get him into a school if he wants to be in one. But as for a name, how about Jamie, as that was their grandpa's name? And he agrees. Later back in Brooklyn, Thor is doing some investigation, and a Nazi shows up thanking Thor for hearing him out. Thor warns him that he better not be up to any tricks because the war he declared on Olympus is going to be a big one. He will put a stop to it. A Nazi says that it wasn't his fault as he didn't start this fight. He was just in the New World teaching one of his new heralds, and Thor says that is in conflict with one of his enemies. Nazi says the minute he steps into the New World, all the Skyfathers clutch the pearls, and Thor says it's because of the chaos he brings. And as the comic ends, Thor warns Nazi that he better be telling the truth about this fight or he will answer to the Thunderer.